Let's take a look at Daniel Jeremiah, former NFL guy, now on NFL.com. He has the Browns selecting Travon Walker, edge rusher from Georgia, and that is still with a couple of wide receivers both on the board. So he has him going with Travon Walker, and I believe both Garrett Wilson, Burks, and Drake London still on the board, but he mocks the Browns to an edge rusher. Mac Wilson, it's possible, especially if the Browns don't re-sign Jadeveon Clowney. There's a need there. But, man, if the Browns don't get a big play wide receiver or don't sign a top-tier free agent, there are going to be some people that aren't real happy that cheer for those orange helmets.
Yeah, and Dave, I'll say this. When it comes to the edge rushers, I understand it. I get it. Don't get me wrong. And this isn't a phenomenally deep edge rushing class from what I've been able to tell so far. But I would say this. I would be okay with it. I'm okay with going down that road. However, I would say this. My favorite non-receiver, and this will annoy a lot of Browns fans. I can already tell you right now, it's not the sexy pick at all. But I love Tyler Lindenbaum, the center out of Iowa, because, again, you have J.C. Treader, who's getting up there in age. When it comes to Travon Walker, though, out of Georgia, I look at the edge rushing, and, again, it comes down to free agency. And, we're going to be having this conversation up until, we know if Jadeveon Clowney has signed elsewhere or not. But, again, I think that, edge rusher is an important position. Obviously, you're not going to have Takk McKinley next year. Jadeveon Clowney, he's hitting free agency. There's a lot of unanswered questions right now. But edge is certainly a position of need. But at the same time, I will say this, there are plenty of other receivers too that I do like as well in this draft. You look at David Bell out of Purdue, and, even John Mechie out of Alabama, who, obviously he got hurt in the SEC championship game. I think depending on where he goes, I actually wouldn't mind them being able to pick him up in the mid rounds of this draft as well. So, I think that if they do miss out on that top flight receiver at the beginning of the draft, I'm going to be a little disappointed. But at the same time, I do think that there are enough guys in this draft where, I trusted Andrew Berry to pick out some of those guys a little bit later on to be able to fill out some of those roles as well.